What if the bedding that you sleep in every single night, that luxurious comforter, the plush pillow, the down duvet, is actually contributing to your chronic fatigue, allergies, and burnout? Today's guest didn't just learn this, she lived it. And what she discovered changed everything, not just for her sleep, but for her entire health. Welcome to the Life Lounge podcast. This is your front row seat to everything happening inside Life Network. I am your host, Carrie Johnson, and each week we bring you top voices, transformational brands, and insider updates you don't want to miss. This is where self-transformation meets community, because when we grow together, we go farther. So let's dive in. Today's guest is Denise Pummer, co-leader of Semina Sleep, a revolutionary sleep system based on European orthopedic design and natural EMF conscious materials. Denise brings years of experience in healthcare and HR leadership and a deeply personal story of how compromised sleep, allergies, and the pursuit of rest led her to transform her own life through the Semina system. Alongside her husband, Klaus, and stepson, she now helps others rediscover what true rest feels like. Welcome to the Life Lounge podcast, Denise. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness. All right. So Denise, you were a high achieving executive who thought that weekends were for catching up on sleep. And I was like that too, to be honest. So what was the wake up moment for you when you realized that something had to change?
Oh, that's a great question. I did have experience a wake up moment. So I married into the sleep business.
Love it.
Klaus was already a true believer, and when he first examined my bedroom and bedding, he told me it was a disaster. I thought I had this beautiful down bedding and everything was beautiful and luxurious, but it
Right.
come to find out didn't meet the high standards that he had for sleep. And we were living in Texas at the time.
Yeah.
So when he was replacing my bedding with wool bedding in Dallas, Texas, and then telling me to turn off the ceiling fan that I grew up with my whole life because of the EMF exposure, I just rolled my eyes and I thought he was nuts. And I
Oh my
told him,
gosh.
we don't sleep in wool on these here parts, honey.
No.
But
Right.
it was not up for debate. So what I gradually realized is that I what I regularly experienced in my before Semina life, I can say, was that I was a sweaty sleeper. I was regularly waking up, flipping over that pillow, kicking the leg out, throwing the sheets off in the middle of the night, and that was before perimenopausal symptoms.
Interesting.
Right, and then
Yeah.
I always woke up with a wet neck, and that was just just how we slept.
Right.
So, I also I always told people I was allergic to morning. And not that I didn't like mornings, but that I was just, I woke up sneezy. I woke up sniffling. I woke up blowing my nose
Yeah.
and just with a full head. And that was my normal. So my wake up moment occurred, and I clearly remember this. It was a couple of weeks after we'd been sleeping in the Semina setup, and I had already been sleeping cooler
Okay.
to my surprise and to my shock.
With the wool and with no fan.
With the wool and with the Semina, yeah, with the wool and with no fan, which you
Crazy.
never could have convinced me beforehand that
Texas.
would have been the case. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was in the kitchen, I was making coffee or something, and all of a sudden I just stopped in my tracks and I realized I hadn't been sneezing. I hadn't blown my nose. I didn't have that itchy that feeling in my
Yeah.
head. And I will remarkably, I was breathing through both nostrils at the same time.
Wow.
And anybody who's had some, respiratory issues or sinus issues with sleeping, I don't know if I used to regularly do this also. Gosh,
Yeah.
it's been so long ago now. It's funny to think about. But I would lay on my left side until like everything kind of drained. And then I realized I
Interesting.
couldn't breathe out of my left nostril, and I'd flip over and everything would kind of drain. And
Yeah.
I kind of did this flip flop all night. And everything I'm just describing to you, I've since learned are sleep disruptions. And that means I was never getting the full benefits of, the true rest and recovery that we
Right.
should be achieving at night,
Right.
every night. And the fact that I was no longer allergic to morning was just amazing to me. So
Yeah.
that was really, I was like, okay, there's something going on here. And I dove into sleep. We went to Austria. We had a week long, like certification
Cool.
process with Dr. Gunther Ammann Jensen, who
Wow.
is the founder of Samina and the inventor, the creator of the whole
Mm,
system. And so you're just learning everything about sleep and also experiencing something more than that, which was really, there's things that capture your head and then there's things that capture your heart. And it's unusual, I think, and very unique in life when you can find something that captures both.
yeah.
And Samina did that for me. When we were, I mean, first of all, Austria, yes, you hear Maria von Trapp singing
Yeah.
everywhere you look.
I'm
It is a
sure.
beautiful, gorgeous country. Where they are in Frastanz, Austria. It's on the western uh, tip of Austria. Austria is a long country. Vienna's on the far east, and Vorarlberg is on the far west, and
Okay.
it's in a mountainous region. It's a little village,
Yeah.
and interestingly, the space that they have the production center in, at one point in time, this village was really known for its textile production.
Okay.
They produced a lot of textiles, but like so much that's happened in the world, globalization and so forth, they lost that textile industry to Asia and other Eastern European markets.
Right.
So he took over what was an abandoned old textile
So
factory,
cool.
and inside there, I asked Gunther once about if he had any regrets about if anything he would do over again. He said, "Well, my biggest regret is that I have the success I have, and I have to have this building, and then I'm producing pollution."
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no Wi-Fi. They have, hardwired internet everywhere.
Okay.
There's plants everywhere. There's water treat, there's little fountains,
Yeah.
mandalas. I mean, it's a corporate environment,
Right.
but it's so unusual
That sounds
for
amazing.
anything I ever
I want to
experienced.
go.
And it was just, it's just really, they walk their talk and in everything that they do.
Mm.
Yeah.
That sounds incredible. Like that, I actually went to Austria when I was, I think,
Ah,
12 years old. And I remember, like, literally, like you were saying, like Maria von Trapp, like the singing, like the hills are alive, and like everywhere I went. And it is a little slice of heaven on earth there. And yeah. So then you've had that kind of, I love that heart connection and the mind connection that you're speaking to. So you had that aha moment, not just like physically, but then you were starting to just feel the recovery that we're supposed to feel during sleep.
yes.
That is like that's what our body is designed to do. Like our brain, and I have 3 kids, so I try to teach that to my kids. I'm like, mom wants you to sleep. Your brain needs to recover, your body needs to recover, and that's how you're going to repair. To continue to grow and evolve. And,
Yes.
I was like you too, though, like when I was growing up and, just kind of like a hard charger achiever and like, oh, I'll just catch up on sleep too. And, just barely focus on my sleep. But I'm glad that the tides are turning. It seems like that people are
Yeah.
becoming more and more aware to the importance of it. Thank goodness. But it all depends on the quality of the mattress, right?
Yes,
And
for sure.
the EMF exposure. And so, can you tell me just kind of what really sets Samina apart and like what makes the difference? I know you have your bed in the background. Just kind of like tell people who are a little skeptical, like, how is this really going to make a difference? Obviously, like telling from your story, they can hear, physically what you experienced. But
Right.
yeah, just get into a little bit more of that nitty gritty.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of things. Maybe I'll close that. But then what makes Samita really different and unique is I mean, they just like when you look at any mattress, they're essentially big cushions filled with something, right? There's not a lot of innovation in the design. They're big cushions. Where Sabina came in and just to give you a little bit, Dr. Gunther Ammann Jensen's background, he was a clinical psychologist. And so
Wow.
he was seeing patients from all walks of life with problems with their depression, their kids, their marriages. And what he recognized is that they all shared a common characteristics, and that was a problem with sleep. And he said, if because you could tell when people are not well rested
You
and
can.
and they're not well equipped to handle stress in their
No.
lives
Yeah.
or to think rationally or to
Right.
behave unemotionally. And so his philosophy was I'm going to get people to fix their sleep
Mm.
and then they'll fix their own problems. They'll be able to handle their own problems
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And so when he started, all of that led to him developing Sabina because he really looked at all the reasons people don't sleep well. Like I did not sleep well. You're
Yeah.
tossing and turning. You're too hot. You're too cold.
Yeah.
Back pain is so prevalent. I would still say that is the number one reason that people buy our bed is that
For back pain.
they have been just suffering with there's one couple I recall. Oh my gosh, I think we were their fifth bed that they bought, and they were buying the most expensive beds they possibly, the most
Yeah.
expensive beds they could find, thinking the more I spend, the better the bed will be. But essentially, it was the same problem. And I
Same
remember they were
thing.
what did you do with that $25,000 Hastings bed? We put it in the
Gosh.
guest room. We gave it to our housekeeper. I mean, it
Yeah.
was just really crazy.
Wow.
So the back support is something crazy. I
Okay.
have a crosscut here. I'm going to show you real
Okay,
quick.
good.
See if I can
Yeah.
get this in
Let
the
me
image.
see.
So
Okay.
these are the three layers of Samina. And they correspond with the body: back and spine, soft tissues, joints, and muscles,
Yeah.
our bioelectric system, and then our skin,
Oh,
and that's the
cool.
wool topper. So the slats are really kind of the secret sauce, if you will, because they are a layer of wooden slats with natural rubber in between. 100% of the bed is made out of organic materials and, sourced responsibly and humanely, including our wool, which we get a lot of people. But this is actually quite flexible, and it flexes according to your own individual body weight. And
Okay.
the other thing that we have that Samina, I think, there are a couple of other brands that do this, but Samina does it so intelligently, is that both sides of the bed are independent.
Okay.
So when you think about it,
Yeah.
especially when we think about just a heterosexual couple, men tend to be shaped like this, broader
Yep.
shoulders,
Yep.
and women tend to be shaped like this,
Yep.
smaller shoulders and a little. And so
Yeah.
sharing a mattress doesn't
It
make
doesn't
any
work.
sense.
Yeah.
We recognize when we travel, that's that rolling in, especially when I've been sleeping in Samina for so long now that it's immediately recognizable.
Oh
Like
my
Klaus gets
gosh.
into bed, and you feel your body you feel your body shift. Those are sleep disruptors.
Right.
Those are things that will prevent me for sure from having as good a night's sleep as I possibly
Yeah.
can. So the slats are an amazing innovation
Okay.
that I don't see any back support in any other bed. We have a lot of people come to us who've already purchased organic mattresses, which is, we always encourage that and say
Right.
that's a step in the right direction.
Okay.
But they miss the back support because most of those mattresses are nothing more than big, thick layers of natural latex like
Right.
this. So
Okay.
Samina uses Talalay latex for its springiness. I've seen beds that are 21 years old and they're still flat.
Oh my gosh.
The rubber is still like this.
No
It's
way.
remarkable.
That's crazy.
In fact, what we've realized is that natural rubber breaks down more slowly than a lot of the synthetic foams and
Okay.
memory foams. And they don't trap the heat, and they're not emitting VOCs, or you don't
Wow.
know what kind of chemical concoction you're sleeping on when you're
Yikes.
sleeping on a lot of these things. So the pure Talalay is the way to go. And then the third layer that is, these are the three essential layers, is our wool topper.
Okay.
And the wool, I want to show you if you can
Yeah.
see this. So I was accustomed to thinking of wool as really like on a sheep,
Yeah. And
or
kind of like scratchy.
yeah, an itchy,
Yeah.
scratchy, and also like clumpy. Where I had
Yeah.
seen like wool batting
Right.
inside things, it was real clumpy. Well, this Serena wool is thinly.
Oh, wow.
Do you see
Oh,
the
that's
fibers
nice.
here?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
They
Yeah. That's
they're
really
just
nice.
layers and layers of this combed wool,
That's
and
beautiful.
it's so nice and it's just
Luxurious.
really
Yeah.
it's very luxurious.
Oh, that
When
seems nice.
Klaus and I were first we're putting all of our eggs, so to speak, in the Samina basket.
Yeah.
We did 26 different trade shows in one year. We were road warriors.
Woo.
And one of the things we recognized was how badly we slept because of the bedding.
For
So
sure.
we brought our duvet, our wool duvet with us.
Oh, that's smart.
We brought our, pillows with us.
Yeah.
And we definitely experienced better
A
sleep.
big difference.
A
Okay.
big difference, especially from, for me, I'm sure now what I had been experiencing in my life, or what I have, is a dust mite allergy. And
Oh, that's
what
what
is
it was.
actually the allergen, which is kind of it's really gross, but it's the poo. It's dust mite poo that
No way.
creates the
Oh, that's
allergen.
gross. I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yes. And what happens is these dust mites thrive in warm, damp environments. So when you
Are you
have,
sweating?
and when you're sweating, we're drooling, even the way we breathe at night,
Moisture.
is
Yeah.
it is moisture. And so
Okay.
one of the first things Klaus will do when he would go to evaluate at someone's home is he'd rub his hands over the bed. He's like, yeah, I could feel the dampness. I could feel the
Ew.
moisture.
That's gross.
Yeah, yeah, and so when and then the other thing is the way we make our beds, like, we cover everything up, we keep it tight, and so we kinda
True.
seal everything
Seal it
in
in
there,
there.
and we keep it dark and damp and moist, and so I don't know, I'm gonna show you a little bit of how I make this bed, but
Yeah.
we open the bed.
Okay. I
We
see.
open the bed, like where our head and upper body is, when we make the bed, we keep it open to air out.
That makes sense.
Because the air
Okay.
circulation will help with evaporation, and of course, the entire design of the Samina system is the wool is also behaves like a moisture wicking. That's one of
Yeah.
the great characteristics of the fiber, and so it pulls moisture away from you, which is why
Amazing.
I don't wake up with a sweaty head anymore.
Wow. Okay.
But it can't really absorb. We don't use wool as sponges. It's not absorbent. But what happens is it pulls through the bed and evaporates
That's crazy.
into the ambient air. So
Oh my
Samina
gosh.
bed is very dry. The wool, because we use this natural wool too with a high content of lanolin,
Hmm.
the sheep's wool fat that dust mites don't like. Talalay is naturally uh, antimicrobial.
Okay.
So the whole design of the bed was to keep it very clean, more allergen free, hypoallergenic, non-toxic, and comfortable.
You're right.
It's really a comforting feeling. And people will buy our bed and then use their own bedding. I always feel like they're losing out a little something.
I
And
would
some people
imagine.
start with the bedding, fall
Okay.
in love with it, and go, I can't wait to see what
The
the whole
next
bed
step
feels
is,
like. But this
yeah.
feels so good. But
Okay.
yeah, so that's and the other thing that Samina stands out for in the world of innovation when it comes to sleep is with the Locosana grounding pad. Now this is
Oh,
just a crosscut. It's just a little. I think I have another one. I do. I have another one that's a little better to show you. But inside that crosscut is a layer of silver organic fabric.
okay.
And it's a 60%, about 60% pure silver threads. So when you see this fabric here,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
that.
my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So silver is highly conductive. There's a lot of different grounding products out there, but silver is highly, highly conductive. So when
Right.
you have And the shape of this mat is like a yoga mat. So it covers the entire surface of a twin bed or
Oh,
half of your
okay.
bed.
Okay.
And when Dr. Aman Jensen was developing the grounding pad, I believe it was in Switzerland that they said, no, you're buy one product for two bodies to balance their bioelectric system. No,
No.
each body is so unique in their own
True.
bioelectric makeup,
Okay.
in
That
our
makes
own water
sense.
content, our fat content, our
Yeah.
BMI, all of that. So it is remarkable too. We do body voltage measurements on people,
Oh, cool.
and two people will have in the same bedroom,
Yeah.
in the same location,
Completely different.
completely different.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, completely different.
Okay. So then go ahead.
No, I was
Continue.
gonna say it does plug into the wall,
Okay.
but this is a dummy plug, if you will. It
Oh,
only
gotcha.
the third piece here is it is the ground,
I was going to
and
say
these
it's
are
the
two.
grounding part.
No
Yeah.
current runs through this.
Oh, okay.
No
Cool.
power. And Samina also, I mean, he's always innovating, always thinking. And one of the drawbacks that people or the concerns people had about Locosana, the grounding pad, was the dirty electricity factor.
Yeah.
So this choke actually regulates that dirty electricity.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Thought of
So
everything.
they thought of everything. They
Oh
thought
my
of everything,
gosh.
including it's recognized that to have a zero EMF environment is not natural.
No.
The Earth has a natural magnetic field.
It does.
So what Dr. Jensen added were these, you can't see them, but I can feel them. And
You
you
can
can
feel
see
it
where
in
they
there.
were hand sewn
Oh,
in here.
cool.
There's a strip inside of here. They're German magnets
No
that
way.
have the exact Gauss of the earth. So it's a natural, gentle, kind of
grounding
feeling.
of-
So yes, because otherwise it's like, to sleep in like really zero EMF and then to get up and go into the world where we know we're going to be bombarded. That
That
kind
wouldn't
of
feel good.
extreme, we just believe that extreme change can also, have its downside,
Side
its
effects too. Yeah.
consequences. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And it's like, we go outside to ground on the grass, or if we're, grateful to be next to like a beach with the sand, that does have that its own electromagnetic pulse that's like grounding through our body. So that does make sense to have that in there too. So that's really
Exactly.
smart. Wow. Okay. So then that piece that you're talking, the grounding piece, and you said
Mhm.
each person in a bed would have their own. Where does that go in the layer?
So yeah, in the layers, it's a great question. We put that directly underneath the wool topper. And that's
Okay.
another thing that people are like, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah.
If I'm grounding on the beach, my feet are touching the sand. But we have a different approach, and that's an indirect contact approach. And again, because of the high content of silver covering such a large surface area, it
Mhm.
becomes, think about lightning. I thought that was for me, this was the best way I could get my head around it. Lightning is always trying to get to the earth as fast as possible. It's trying to ground. It's
Yeah.
it's it's zapping so fast, right?
True.
So all of these waves around us, EMF, Bluetooth, all of this, they're trying to get to the earth or our highly conductive bodies when
Yikes.
we're above and not grounded. When we're
Yeah.
in bed and not grounded.
Okay.
And what's worse is if we're sleeping on metal springs and a metal bed frame, you become highly conductive.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's scary.
I, I
And
think
it's real.
it's real. It's real. And we talk to a lot of people, and not everybody will buy our bed, but we've had more. That was also another thing that was very convincing for me, because I was count me skeptical in this area, and I
Yeah.
learned more and I learned more, and I met people, and there were people that Klaus would just say, turn off everything, move that, don't charge your phone in your room, turn this off, do this,
Yeah.
turn off the breaker at night in your
Yeah.
bedroom, unplug the Wi-Fi router,
Right.
and see how you sleep.
Okay.
And we had our own experience with this. We were, again, we were on the road really trying to get this business really gung-ho started.
Yeah.
We stayed in Silver Lake, near the Los Angeles area
Yeah.
for about half a month. It was like 2
Okay.
weeks. We had a lot of business in the area. We were exploring at that time, possibly living in the Los Angeles area. And it was a beautiful place, and we
It
couldn't even
is.
believe how quiet it was. We woke up to birds singing. We
Oh,
great sleep
nice.
there. But the Wi-Fi router was underneath the bed.
Oh
So
gosh.
Everett, which is a very popular location,
Yeah,
believe it or
because it's
not,
hidden. Yeah,
it's
that makes
hidden.
sense.
It's hidden, and people, put it back in the bedroom. But we unplugged it every night. It was on my
Okay.
side. There was one night I did not unplug it, and we both had terrible sleep that night.
Oh my
We
gosh.
woke up, we were restless, we were tired. I mean, we were working. We have a pretty consistent schedule when it comes to
Right.
bedtime. We couldn't, why did like, you didn't sleep well? I
Yeah, what
didn't sleep well
happened?
either.
Yeah.
What? No. We realized we left the router on
A
that
huge
one night.
difference. Oh my
That
gosh.
one night,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the other night, so out of 15 nights, there was one night we did not have that router on, and it was the only night we
Only
slept
night.
poorly.
Oh my gosh. So say somebody has a Wi-Fi router underneath their bed still, even though they know they shouldn't, but they have all the Samina system and the grounding mat and everything.
Yeah.
Will they still, and they don't turn it off, would they still sleep okay? Or
So when we would do the body voltage measurements, it again, it kind of depends, especially the geolocation, everyone's a little different. Of
yeah,
course, the first thing we would say is, don't put that under your bed. We don't even
of
know yet
course.
what the long-term exposures are. This
Unfortunately,
technology and this kind of intense,
it's so much.
electromagnetic radiation, it's way more than any human has ever experienced
Yeah.
in the span of millions of years.
I know.
So we don't even yet know. And
Mhm.
we would always say proceed with caution.
Mhm.
And the easy thing to do would be to just unplug it at night.
Right. It is an easy
That
thing
would
to
be
do.
the
Yeah.
best thing if you could.
Right. I know a lot of people who put it on timers too. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
put
the
the timer
timers
on
are a
it
good
or
thing.
yeah, so in case you forget.
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
especially when, like, you have kids at home. I can imagine this age of technology and having because everybody's got
It's a
devices,
challenge.
so it's a
It's a
challenge
challenge.
to
It is. Yeah, and like you said, mhm.
I had a what was it? One of our another couple customers of ours. They're like, yeah, we put it on a timer so the kids would go to bed
I know.
when they lose the internet and it's taught. Then they're like, oh, we don't know what to do except go to bed.
Go to bed. Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's smart. You have to. Like we're learning unfortunately, the hard way and like we're the very first like kind of generation to raise, kids through
Yeah.
technology like this and phones and just unfortunately like noticing the side effects and damages. But yeah, we're almost like they're guinea pigs. It's really sad, but I think the tide's turning and we're all learning and it's like this is not good.
Well, I think I noticed something during the pandemic. I wonder if you noticed it also, but it's like especially the youth, they're the millennials that began embracing nature again,
Yeah,
going to the national parks, going
right.
to the because of the social distancing. I think that
Right.
was part of it,
True.
but I believe that's it's kind of like pendulum swings in
I
life.
know.
We go all the way over here, and you know what? It's interesting because the innovation that is happening now in the
Mhm.
mattress industry is introducing technology into the beds.
I
So
know.
introducing apps and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and things for your biometric measurements and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Which is we're proud to be the lowest tech vendor
Good.
in a group and the
Good
lowest
job.
tech bed. But I think it's all about a return to nature. And
Yeah.
a lot of the chronic conditions that we have, just generally speaking,
Yeah.
a lot of the chronic conditions that are plaguing people. I know I remember hearing the most shocking talk at a conference once. It was allergies, asthma, and autism. What's happening to our kids?
It's so sad.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know anybody with these severe issues growing
No.
up in my childhood. It
No, just a
wasn't
few. Yeah,
just
just
yeah.
a few.
Maybe there was one here, but just to have
Same.
like half the class has this. It's just a lot. It's a
It
lot,
is, yes.
and the asthma especially. So our Samina can be helpful for all conditions,
Yeah,
and as Dr. Jensen likes to say, only in sleep does the body heal itself.
it's true.
So you want to provide yourself the optimal environment you can from
Right.
everything in your bedroom, but most especially your bed.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. So then for somebody who is like, "Okay, I definitely understand what you're saying, and I want to, start incorporating Samina," but they're like, "I don't think I could do the full-blown thing." Obviously, that would be the best thing, but,
Yeah.
like, what would be something that they could start out with and, like, slowly add on?
So a lot of people begin with a pillow, and we do
Okay.
like to, healthy sleep starts at the head. We've got 7 openings into our body in our head.
Yeah.
Through your ears, your eyes, your nostrils, and your mouth. That's 7 orifice, ways that microbes can enter. And so to have a clean pillow and to have one that really supports your head and neck, that cradles your neck. If you're waking up with any kind of neck or shoulder tension,
Yeah.
there's something to do with the hardware of your bed, very
Okay.
likely.
That makes
And
sense.
just to have that complete relaxation. And that's why a lot of the Samina pillows that you'll see are formed pillows, meaning we do have, which is one that I actually like, is the anti-aging pillow. And it's a big pillow. It's a squishy pillow.
Okay.
But the Delta pillow has a natural concave form to it.
Okay.
So it has you can, it can lift the back of your neck to open your airway for better
Oh, nice.
breathing. And then
Nice.
also for less tension on your neck, which is a really nice thing.
Does that help with snoring?
It does help with snoring. Not always my snoring, I've heard, but especially if red wine is involved.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. But this is what I'm talking about with
Okay,
the Delta
cool.
pillow. So it's
Yeah.
lower on one side and it's higher on the other.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
that reminds me of another Samina innovation, and that is the inclined sleeping. So
Oh, yes.
we sleep, and that also helps with snoring because it helps open the air passages, and then
Yes.
because of sinus issues. It
Right.
helps my
Drainage.
sinuses straight. So basically, it's just your head is a little bit higher than your
Okay.
feet. It's
Okay.
I'm again, he's like, we're gonna incline our bed now. I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I mean, I don't know why I was so. I just like, no, I don't want to have dreams
Yeah.
or nightmares. I'm falling out of bed. I don't want to slide out of bed. But it's a very gentle incline. What I notice more than sleeping inclined now is when we don't sleep inclined.
Oh, interesting.
When we're sleeping flat, and I just feel like everything inside of my head,
Oh,
there's
it's getting
just
like
more
puffier.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
can
just more
imagine.
pressure, and it
Oh my
it it
gosh.
actually, you know, theoretically, it could add years to your life while your heart will pump less. It doesn't have to pump as hard to circulate when you're
That's a good
lying
point.
flat.
Okay.
And then things like people who have GERD, the
Yep.
gastroesophageal reflux,
It helps
it
that
it just helps keep stomach acids in the stomach where they belong
where it
through gravity.
belongs instead of
And
coming
again,
up.
we're just harnessing the power. Samina just harnesses the power of nature to bring, just optimal, the best rest and that you can possibly have.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so then if somebody's like, "Okay, I got the pillow, and then now what should I add on?"
Yeah, the pillow, if people are really, if they're suffering, if they know they're already electromagnetic sensitive, if they're healing from any illness, cancer, we've had a number of cancer patients, some crazy testimonials too,
Oh,
crazy, that I can't say for sure that 7 tumors disappeared, but
whoa.
at my next
That's
checkup after
crazy.
sleeping grounded, I had that
No way.
experience. So we really have had some good
That's
experience there.
incredible. 7
I would say
tumors.
the grounding pad is a great addition for somebody who wants to enhance
Okay.
their sleep.
Okay.
And then we also have a financing partner now. Once
Okay,
upon a
good.
time we did not,
Yeah.
and so it really was a bigger leap. But now it's
Yeah.
I think more attainable than ever before.
Okay, good. Oh my gosh. Well, perfect. So that at least people can start somewhere, but then also maybe do the financing as well. So,
Yes.
and then I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, like if the husband, wife, or, partners like sleep, differently, like the slats could be adjusted, right? On either side.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
There was another gentleman. He had back surgery. He struggled a lot. They also had bought a Duxiana. They had bought some like
Fancy ones.
the fancy premier, very expensive beds. And he said they were worse than, the cheap mattress he had in some ways. So he
Interesting.
was very skeptical about Samina, but the thing about Samina is those slats are configurable. So
Okay.
just to give you a quick example, like if I would say the overwhelming feedback we get from people going from one traditional mattress to Samina is that it feels firmer.
Okay.
It feels firmer, and firmer
Yeah.
is better for any
Right.
mattress. If you're out there shopping for any product, I would say firmer is better. Softer
Okay.
doesn't give you the support. You're going to wake up with backache,
Yeah.
and it's because he'd had that back surgery. He was really apprehensive and very concerned, as he should be. So he ended up getting. We ended up putting some inserts into the slats to
Okay.
give him the support that he needed right where he needed it, but we didn't
Interesting.
have to touch his wife's. So that's where it
Perfect.
becomes very, customized for the individual,
Yeah.
and not that you have to do that. You have to get this one. There was another couple that was a tragic situation. She had been in a car accident and
Oh,
had
geez.
had a lot of surgeries,
Wow.
and she also needed special back care. And he'd had Lyme disease and became very chemically sensitive. So when you think about, like, the bed purchase was really a nightmare for them
Yeah.
because most conventional beds are filled with chemicals and flame retardants. And, like I said,
Yeah.
the chemical concoction
Mhm.
is hidden under proprietary, labels. So people don't even need to divulge exactly what's inside. And
Interesting.
so, but he really couldn't sleep. His wife had found a great bed for her back, and he had a terrible reaction and ended up having to sleep in the living room. And it took him backwards in his
Yeah.
recovery.
Oh gosh.
So they invested in a Samina bed. We were able to get the slats configured for her back pain. She loved it.
Oh, good.
He was able to sleep. They were able to sleep together.
Oh,
And
good.
in fact, that's one of our one of the things that we feel so good about is that it's remarkable how many couples end up sleeping apart.
I
They're
know.
sleeping in a different bedroom. They're sleeping on the sofa because of snoring, because of tossing and turning, because they
Yeah.
like different temperatures.
Right.
So we like to believe that we're bringing couples back together again.
Totally. Yeah, it sounds like it. Oh my gosh, that's a good story. So then also, if somebody, like you had talked about, somebody does already maybe have like an organic wool mattress, could they just get the frame from Samina?
We have people all the time. In fact, this
Really?
morning we had a phone call. So in the past, Klaus would not separate. He'd like, no, you have to buy these 3 layers at a minimum. The grounding pad is optional. Our duvets are another great place to start if somebody just
Oh,
wants to enhance it because especially for controlling night sweats and just having a really nice balanced temperature, they're divine. The traditional way of sleeping in Austria, Germany, the German speaking market there,
yeah.
Switzerland, and different places in Europe is to have 2 separate duvets. So
Okay.
so there's no tug of
That
war
makes
for the
sense.
covers, and
Yeah.
each has their own. And if you want a really thick one and you want a really thin one, then
Yeah.
everybody's happy. It's just a cultural thing. It's not the way
Mm,
we're accustomed. I think for most of us in the States and Canada, it's not the way we've grown up, and it's just
true.
not what we're accustomed to. But it is a good idea.
Mm.
Yeah. So now I lost my train of thought, Carrie. What was I saying?
If they wanted to get just the frame and
Oh,
they
just the
could
frame.
still
Yeah.
could. Yeah.
So yes. So this gentleman just called this morning from New York, and he had insisted he did not want the slats. He did not want the slat. I
Yeah.
just want the rubber mattress. And so this is what he ended up getting this. And then I don't know the details of what he put it on, but
Okay.
he he's not happy. And
Ah,
he's missing that the
the
back
full thing.
support. And it really is a whole system. Why we call it a system. If you're missing
Okay.
one component, you're missing a critical support element.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Well, I'm glad you explained that though too. And there are layers that people could add on as they go, but as a whole, it makes sense to get the whole
Yeah.
system for sure.
The 3 layers are like replacing a traditional box spring and mattress.
Okay. True.
You wouldn't just put the mattress on the floor. You'd have that box.
Yeah.
It's
The
a
whole
system
system.
that works together holistically.
Okay. Good. All right. Um, I have another question.
Okay.
More about your transition from healthcare, your corporate background, and then now into like a wellness based mission with Klaus. How has this journey impacted your relationship to faith or purpose? And like just it's a big pivot. So like how?
Yeah, it's a big pivot. It's a
Yeah.
it's a it's a great it's a great question. Um, well, first of all, Klaus, this isn't my first marriage.
Okay.
If for either one of us, we
Yeah.
both jokingly tell people it's our third and last.
There you go.
But working together on a mission that we both believe in and where our fulfillment is really coming from people who so appreciate them changing, their lives can be completely changed. When Klaus was first getting involved with Samina, he had a retail store in Muskoka, which is like
Is that
in
Canada?
Canada,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's a resort lake area.
Okay.
I would liken it to the Hamptons in the
Yeah.
States.
Nice.
So people who live in Toronto, it's a 2-hour drive up north,
Oh, fun.
and they all have their little cottages or their big cottages. But
Yeah. Right.
but he had a beautiful store there, and he had a Selena bed, and so he would see people in the summer because it was very seasonal,
Mm-hmm.
and then he wouldn't see them again until next summer. And he said
Yeah.
there were times he didn't recognize people walking in because they
Oh.
had changed. He's like, I didn't even recognize you. She goes, Klaus, I'm sleeping. I've lost so much weight.
Oh, I
You
love
know, I
it. Yeah.
so I think that when you have a shared mission
Mhm.
that's about improving people's lives,
Yeah, that's
improving
powerful.
health, where
Mm.
the work that we do is it's so different from kind of the corporate goals I had, which were very financial based.
Right.
And ours are just different. So, and then just, I think also recognizing that they're working with the power of natures. Like we're really big about anti-plastic pollution. We really
Amazing.
support the cleaning of beaches, which is,
Oh,
these
wow.
are issues that I had. Yeah, they would be like nice issues environmentally, but
Yeah.
we're more passionate about them because of our work.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and helps you, yeah, get out of bed every single morning and not only like rested and reinvigorated from your amazing night's sleep, but then just to continue on with your day and the amazing purpose that you both are sharing together. It's so good.
Absolutely, and I think the power of your body to heal itself is also, it's really getting it down to the foundation. God created us in a perfect way,
Yeah, so
and
true.
we've done so much to
Do our own
erode
thing.
that, destroy it,
Yeah,
doing not what, nature intended.
so true.
And so I think that's, in fact, that's, I like to we always believe that we should give people something that they can use, whether or not they're interested in Sabina or not, but something that they can really benefit. And so I think that there's 3 points. And one of them is the first thing I would recommend people do is prioritize sleep because I never
Yes.
treated it as a priority in my
Right.
life
Yeah.
previously, and
Same.
therefore, it was always being compromised. And you know that those lost hours are not made up.
No,
They're
we
really.
think they are, but they're not.
Yeah, exactly. You don't make them up, and so there's an overall detriment, and I can think back to even some health issues I had, some dental issues, and things like that. I don't have those issues anymore at all, at
That's
all.
amazing.
So prioritizing live, and then the other thing is just like that's talking about. To me, it's faith and nature, and
Yeah.
just is synchronizing. So like if you could wake up in the morning, the first thing you should do is open the curtains, raise the blinds, go outside, get some
Yeah.
sunlight,
Yep.
because that is the beginning of your next night's sleep.
So
When
true.
you can
Yep.
sync your body, and a doctor once told me your kidneys don't know what time it is. So you have to so the exposure of light with your eyes
Mhm.
tells the
So is your
body it's
body.
morning.
Gotcha.
And just as importantly, at night, and Klaus is anybody who's ever been to our home, or if he's been in your home at night, there's no overhead light at whatsoever when the
That's
sun goes
great.
down. We don't
Yeah.
use any we have lamps, we use softly lit light, we use
Yeah.
candles,
Okay.
but there is no more bright light. Again, my
Yes.
kidneys don't know what time it is until
Yeah.
they have this is the entrance of light. It's also why the blind have a lot of sleep issues. That's
That makes
something else
sense.
I've just started, looking at. But
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
well, because they don't have that natural synchronization. So do what you can to synchronize your own. Nature will take over. If
It
you
will.
really begin that every
Mhm.
morning with light, and you end your evening with dimmer light,
Yes.
you're already gonna probably be more inclined. You're going to be sleepier
Right.
to go to bed, and you'll wake
Yeah.
up better. We are at a place now where we do not use an alarm.
That's
We
amazing.
never. If I have a really early flight,
Yeah.
I'll use an alarm. But otherwise, we're up between 6 and 7 every day.
It's amazing. And your
Yeah,
body knows
and done.
naturally, I've
Yeah,
had
we
enough rest
naturally wake
now.
up, we're
Yeah.
done. We're waking up a little earlier now in the summer because of
Right.
the light. But you know what? I told Klaus, I said, that's nature too. We used to
True.
sleep till 7 or 7:30, and now we're sleeping till 6 or 6:30. I said, it's nature.
Yeah, so seasonality and how our body, like, it requires more rest during the winter season when it's darker and colder and we sleep a little bit
Exactly.
longer. Yeah, and it's like you said, it is getting back to how God designed our body to repair and recover and rest and not to constantly have these lights in our face until the wee hours of the morning. So, yeah.
Exactly. So I love that whole I think that there's just a movement of kind of a back to nature, a recognition that, a lot of the suffering we have is by our own doing. And so if we can, just take a little bit of control of that, and also the, little morning sunlight and meditation is a healthy way to start the day too.
Yes. Amen to that. So, so good. I love that. So at Life Network, we're all about, helping people, it's more about like self-transformation through community and everything that Ben puts out there. It's more, getting connected back to God and nature and how our bodies are designed. And I speak specifically to a lot of moms, and I coach a lot of moms in fitness and wellness myself. So like for the person who is just tired, depleted, worn out, and they kind of think that rest is a luxury that she can't afford.
Ha. Okay.
Yeah. What message are you? We've kind of spoke to this a little bit, but any other
Yeah.
message that you would share with that person, to that tired mom?
That tired mom. I think it's it's like when the cabin pressure in a plane changes and they say when the oxygen masks drop down, put one on yourself first and then your children. I would say that's what sleep is like. If you want to be a fabulous woman, be a well-rested woman.
So true, right?
Try to
Yes.
accomplish or achieve anything while you're drowsy,
Depleted.
fatigued, exhausted, lack of loss of energy, all of those things. Try to perform. Do you think you're going to be the best mom? You're
No.
going to have control of your moods. You're not going to be quick to angry words
Right.
but when you're well rested,
Mm-hmm.
you can have that composure. You can possess the calmness
Mm-hmm.
and the patience.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the things that we strive to be as mothers and
Mm-hmm.
moms are so much more attainable when we're well rested.
Amen. I love that. So, so good. I always love that analogy too about the oxygen mask because it's so true. And I always think of it too also like we can't pour from an empty cup. So we need to kind of continuing to like pour into ourselves and kind of give back to ourselves so we can have that spillage out over into other people around us. So,
For sure. Some people have likened sleep is like a savings account too.
that's
Like
good.
investing in yourself. And, some people need that kind of, I think, paradigm because they feel like it feels too
Hmm.
self-indulgent. Oh,
Yeah.
to sleep 8 or 9 hours. I actually found that I'm better with 9 hours.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
really
great,
my
Denise.
sweet spot. And so I tried to, and at first I was like, God, it just seems like it's too much
Yeah.
sleep. And I remember trying to sleep on 4 hours. I was thinking I could get so much more done if I could train myself. There was a time I was really doing that. I was training
Wow.
myself to sleep for 4 hours. It did not work. And it was not good. And what I found
Yeah.
myself doing, actually, I remember is I started skipping yoga. I was too
Oh,
tired.
yeah. Yeah.
I was
And then
too
you don't have the
tired.
energy, yeah,
I
to
didn't
do
have the
all those
energy to
other
go.
things. Yeah.
Mhm. So it
Yeah.
was, yeah.
It backfired real quick, I'm sure.
Yes, for sure.
Aw. Okay, we did have a question also come in from a Life Network member, and we did speak to this, I think, a little bit already with the pillow, but if there's anything else that you want to share about it. This person, Julie, said that she has struggled with insomnia since childhood. And researching solutions has been a lifelong endeavor. Many discoveries have created some improvement, but no real solutions. Chronic neck, shoulder pain is often at its worst upon waking, even though I've tried multiple different pillows, no pillow, adjustable mattress. You've probably heard this from many others, so I'm wondering if there's something critical that most people overlook, even if they've been researching.
Wow, that's, well, the first thing I would have her do is, yeah, I mean, it sounds like she's done a lot of her research, but, the bedroom environment is really key. There's when we in the past, Klaus and I we did for a physician. He said I can't go into people's homes and I think they've got mold. And he was a famous Dietrich Klinghardt. He's really well known for his treatment of Lyme disease. And because we were in different areas, we would do home evaluations and look for the mold and different things. But what we would find is just like you don't even have a window cover on, so this window
Oh,
is open. Oh, I like the light and I like the moonlight. I'm like, well, that's a sleep disruptor.
okay.
That's because our senses are kind of, they're in sleep mode, but they're
Yeah.
not off.
No, they're
We
still
can
like
still
there.
hear, we can
Mm-hmm.
still, feel temperature. You can still, our senses are still alive. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the first thing I would do is just evaluate the entire environment from head to toe. And I would look
Mm-hmm.
at things like light, like
Okay.
air,
Yes.
Air movement, airflow is very healthy and helpful. Oxygenation.
That's good.
We regularly have the snake plants and some other things to help
Yeah,
with
me too.
the air, the natural cleaning of the air. And of course, getting down to the hardware of sleep, which is the pillow, and
Hmm.
that can be tricky for a lot of people. Which
Yeah.
is we have a little retail showroom in
Oh, cool.
Pasadena, California that's open by
Nice.
appointment.
Okay.
And we have 8 or 9 different pillows there. And I will tell you that anybody who comes for an appointment, we have about a 90% purchase of Delta pillow. So
Oh,
the Delta
interesting.
pillow is the one that we recommend when people
Okay.
don't have the luxury or the convenience to
Yeah.
come try the pillow. And even
Right.
when they do, I have to tell you, what do people do? You go to a mattress store, you lay down for 10 minutes and you go, yeah, this is the one. And then you go home and then you go try to sleep on it for 8 hours a night for, weeks and months and years.
Not
And
quite.
so even with the trying it on, it's not often all that you would need to sleep on it,
You do. You need for
yeah,
a
and
while.
and
Yeah.
and that's why we like the versatility of the Delta pillow also because it
Okay.
has that natural foam, as I showed you. It's higher on one side and lower on the
Yes.
other. So, like, Klaus will flip it around. He uses the higher side. He's got a
Okay.
longer neck, and I have a
Yeah.
very short neck, and especially when I'm sleeping inclined,
Right.
I like the short side because
Okay.
what I
Interesting.
found is that when I'm on the high side, on the inclined bed, it's like my head is cocked forward.
Oh, gotcha. That makes
So
sense.
what you really want to achieve is something that kind of lifts gently underneath your neck and cradles your head, and that is where that I would start with that.
Okay, that's great advice. And then everything else additionally, even like the snake plants that you're saying, and it's just the
Yeah,
air and the
yeah.
sound and
I
lights
mean,
and all
make
those things.
your
So,
bedroom environment as zen of a zone as you possibly can. It should be a zen zone, a place of, Klaus is he's even I think with his German accent he gets away with a lot more. But he would go in, he goes, "Oh, this your bedroom is so disorganized. You have too much
yeah.
clutter. What do you have? This is you wake up. How can you go to sleep? This is just stress laying around, telling you I need to fold clothes. I need to do this. Just
Oh my
clean
gosh.
it all
No
up.
more. No
No
more.
more, no more." So but they sound like little things that may not matter a lot, but they can make a difference.
Yeah. And it's added years to your life, I'm sure, being with him. So
I think so too, for
I love
sure.
it. That's so great. Well, oh my gosh, Denise, has been absolutely incredible. And I want to be very mindful of your time. Is there just for our listeners to learn more, connect with you and Klaus, Samina, explore the system, all those things, tell us where they can go, the discount code with Ben, and anything else we
Yeah.
might be missing there?
Sure. So we are just, we've talked to Ben for at least 5 years before he was, he became convinced and he knew it was everything in his works out in its own time. And so we're very grateful that he's such a super fan, and recognizes all the benefits and the value. So the entire Semina line is available through the Life Network and through the Life Market.
That's
So
right.
that's the easy place to go. There are links to go there. Our website is seminasleep.com.
Yes.
And if anybody's going to make a purchase on our site as opposed to the Life Market, they could
Mm-hmm.
just use the promo code Ben, three
And yep,
letters,
that's it. Yep.
and that's it. And that will give a 5% off the purchase price. So,
Perfect.
and because the products are made from
Yeah.
like the highest
It's the best of the
quality
best.
materials. Yeah, I can't, I remember one time I've had several conversations, especially, 12 years ago when I first met Doug, because I was the corporate one. I'm like, well, why don't you do this? And why don't you do that? And how come
Yeah,
because I was so smart. And he was like, no, no, my wool costs 5 times more than the market value.
that's true.
They're free roaming sheep. They're hand sheared, they're hand
Wow.
washed, he goes, my wool is so clean and I haven't destroyed the lanolin. I haven't radiation to kill all the microbes and
Yeah.
actually the whole industry it can be tragic and we don't have any of those
No.
issues. So yeah.
Yeah.
So Life Network is the first place to start and use the promo code Ben.
Yep.
And we offer a free consultation because people do want to
Oh,
customize their beds, or
yes, that's
like Julie is concerned about her sleep and insomnia, and
yes.
there might be some ideas we could give her with that
Oh, that
consultation
would
as
be
well.
great. Yeah. Well, we'll make sure to link everything, with the website and the code and everything for Ben's code and the consultation as well, because I think that would be very helpful for some people that might still continue to have questions because everybody is very individual. And
Sure, and
yeah,
it's so different. We really encourage the consultation. We put the e-commerce side, we really launched that during the pandemic. Before that,
smart.
we're very high touch with our customers in terms of just the personalization and making sure that they have everything just right.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Denise. So incredible. I'm
Thank you,
so
Carrie.
grateful to have met you and to have you on Inside Life Market and just to bring you on Life Lounge and just to have everybody just continue to learn, not just the importance of sleep and recovery and repair but just your incredible product line and just what you guys are doing in the world, just making it an incredible impact. So thank you. And for our listeners, make sure to share this with a friend who needs to hear it. And we will make sure to link everything below. Anything else, Denise, that we're missing out on saying?
No, I think you've covered it all. I will tell you, at 60, as a well-rested woman, I
Yeah,
feel better than I did at 40. I feel
that's
more
good.
vibrant. I feel more energized. I'm stronger.
Wow.
And that's post-menopause too. So
So good. That's a mic drop moment right there. Like that is a game changer. So,
it's a
so,
game
so
changer.
good.
Sleep is a game changer. So thank
That's
you again.
right.
I appreciate your time so much too. Thank you,
Oh my
Carrie.
gosh. Well,
My
thank
best
you.
to all of you there. You guys have a great team.
Oh, thank you, Denise. So great to
You're
connect. And
welcome.
thanks to our listeners. And we will make sure to link everything below. Have a great rest of your day.